Hey everybody, it's Lauren. I know I haven't uploaded a video in a while. Again, I'm using my boyfriend's laptop, and yeah, just a little update. I saw Suicide Squad. It was awesome. I loved it. Oh my god, yay! I love Suicide Squad. I dressed as Harley Quinn to go see the movie, so it was a lot of fun. I love my pudding. You know. Okay. Anyway. So this video is more about me. And who doesn't love me? Okay, now I sound like a pretentious asshole. Okay, whatever. Yes, I'm wearing lipstick. I wanted to wear lipstick today. Fuck it, whatever. I don't usually wear makeup, so lipstick is usually how far I can go. I mean, I don't really wear eyeshadow or whatever. Anyway, it's not about makeup. It's about my political views and history. So, I was born in 1994. I'm 22 now. My first election that I remember is the Bush-Gore election. I was 6 at the time. It's kind of impressive how I remember that. 6 years old. The reason I remember that is because I remember my dad talking about it. He's more right of center. I am left of center. Now I'm more liberal, independent, whatever you want to call it. So there's that. And then my silly thing. Okay. And then I remember my dad talking about it and just feeling like, and then I would watch I was pretty competent for a 6-year-old, I mean, even with having, not knowing that I had ADD yet. I didn't find out until really like first grade that I had, so I was watching and I'm listening to George Bush and I'm thinking, what is he saying? Like, this guy doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. Like, this guy talks funny. And I said to my dad, and I quote, Daddy, why does he sound like an idiot? And my dad's like, he doesn't sound like an idiot. He's just saying what, but he sounds really dumb. Why does he talk like that? Of course, a 6-year-old, being a 6-year-old, was wondering, why does somebody talk with a different accent? But it sounded dumb to me. And today it still sounds dumb. He still sounds like an idiot. Even at 22, he still sounds like a fucking idiot. And then, sorry if you hear voices in the background. My boyfriend's mom is home. With Phoenix sitting here. Phoenix. There she is. I fucking love that little girl. Anyway, so with all of that, I didn't want Bush. And then when I found out that he was elected, I was like, dang it. I was like, oh, okay, like, whatever. I was 6. I didn't really give a fuck. I was like, oh, okay, he just sounds like an idiot, whatever. And then the first day of first grade was September 11th, 2001. And I remember staring at the TV worried because my aunt and uncle on my dad's side, my dad's sister, they live in Manhattan. They live in New York. I was really worried. I asked, are they okay? And my dad said, yes, they're okay. They're not hurt. At the time, I knew what death was, but I didn't understand the extent to what was actually happening. I didn't understand the scope of 3,000 people dead. To me, it just made no sense. Sorry, the air is coming on now, so it just didn't make sense to me at all. I was in shock. I thought, how could that happen? And that is when I found out about terrorism. I was in first grade. I thought, that night I remember eating Taco Bell because what happened was I said to my mom, like, what happened today? Like, there was a fire in these buildings. What happened? She said they collapsed. She used the wrapper from a taco and she smashed it. She said when the plane hit, it just went boom and it collapsed in on itself. And I said, how many people died? And she said like 1,000 or something. Like, and it was something like, what? Like, it made no sense to me. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to me even today that 3,000 people just lost their lives fucking one day. Like, all, it's like, really? I don't, just, it never, whatever. So that happened, and I was pretty upset. I couldn't really get around that. I couldn't wrap the idea around my head that people died. I said, how did the planes crash? Did they break? Thinking maybe it was an honest mistake. Or, I'm trying to think. And she said, no, 19 people took it over and crashed the plane on purpose. And I said, who would do that? Why? What? This made no sense. Like, why the fuck would somebody end their life to do that? It made no sense. She said, these people are Islamic terrorists. That was the first time I heard that word. And she said, there was a man named Osama bin Laden who orchestrated it. I said, is he dead? And she said, no. He took credit for it. And it really scared me. I said, are we going to be attacked? Are we going to? She said, no. No, we're not. We're not going to be attacked. We are going to be just fine. And that reassured me. I mean, being 7, Oh. Really can't. It reassured me a little bit, but it still stressed me out. And then that Friday we had a school assembly, and the director talked about it, and he said, on Tuesday, our first day of school, was, this thing happened, and we have to pay our respects to the people who died. And I mean, they were still pulling bodies out of the rubble and everything else. I mean, they were, and it was really sad. And a lot of people were upset because some people had family who died. And I learned later those planes were headed to Los Angeles and other places. And it's just really hard. It's really hard to, even today, to even believe that somebody still is like all for a religion. And so me, politically, I was like, I didn't really understand, but it just so happened that that's what kind of brought me through the political hold and just kind of solidified my ideas. It really started to solidify these ideas of this is good, this is bad, this, and so when George went, and then I remember in 2003, whenever we started going to war, my dad, I was in the car in line. We were in line to get gas. It was at Costco. And I remember my dad saying, we're going to the Middle East to fight a war in Iraq. And I said, what? I said, that doesn't make sense, though. He said, why does it make sense? He said, because didn't they say Saudi Arabia was the country that, orchestrated? And he said, yeah, but, they have weapons of mass destruction. And I was like, what? So, and he said, there's this man named Saddam Hussein who has, I'm like, it was just like, whatever, okay. So, I mean, I was what, 8, 9? So I was probably 8 years old. And I was like, what? This makes no sense, because to me, why the heck would it matter? Why would we go into a country that didn't do anything? And it made no sense. Whatever. So me, being me, an 8-year-old, didn't care. In a way I did, in a way I didn't. It still confuses me today. But I think I know, now we all know why what happened. And then I just remember a lot of this was kind of, the country was at a divide, I remember that, over going into Iraq. I remember my dad saying, yeah, we should do it. My mom saying, no, I don't know if we should, I remember, and my brother was, what, 5 or 6 or something? I mean, he was 5 or 6 at the time. I mean, he was 4 when, he was like 4 or 3. Yeah, he was 4 when, no, he was 3. He was 3 when it happened, when September 11th happened. So he doesn't, sorry, the computer's broke. He doesn't remember anything about it. I remember watching on the TV screen, though. I remember And I still can't watch the documentaries. It's just too hard. So there's that. And then in 2004, I was in 4th grade, and I remember watching the Bush-Kerry debates. And I had to watch it for extra credit. And I watched it, and I was one of the only 2 people, and this other kid who bullied me, he also watched it. And he got extra credit, and so did I. But I watched it, and I wrote about it, and I just remember thinking, what is this guy? I was like, what is this guy talking about? Like, Kerry made more sense, and I wasn't even a big fan of Kerry. I was like, whatever, okay, you know, they're both butt face, you know. Sorry, it looks so dark. The lighting here sucks. Just, you know, it was like, what? No. Anyway. So I kind of understood it. I mean, I was, what, 10 at the time? So kind of understood it, kind of didn't. Just, it went on and off, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then I don't really remember exactly what the issues were back then because it was so long ago and I didn't really care. I just remember, you know, having all that, like, go on. And then I remember, like, I'm thinking, you know, please be Kerry, because he's, you know, Bush sounds like an idiot. Of course, what the fuck do? We elect a dummy again. I don't know why we fucking did that. Whatever. So I was kind of pissed, but whatever. I'm an 8-year-old, and 10 years old. Like, who gives a fuck? And then 2005, Hurricane Katrina hits. The whole country is just divided again. And this time, everybody was talking about FEMA, and I didn't really understand what was going on. And so then I recently watched an episode of Bill Maher that had George Carlin and a few others on the panel. I can't remember. I was looking at for because specifically had George Carlin. I love George Carlin. God rest his soul. And it was that week of that, like in between the weeks, you know, that week of Hurricane Katrina. Bill Maher was, and I watched this like last year, and he was talking about the reactions, and he talked to a guy, I can't remember what his name was. He was talking to a guy who was on the ground there. He was a sheriff in Baton Rouge and Louisiana and New Orleans and everything, and so there was that. And he was talking to him, and it was very interesting to see what was going on back then. Now, you know, now looking at it, it makes a lot more sense. The FEMA, because my dad talked about FEMA, you know, FEMA, they didn't do anything wrong. My mom's like, no, FEMA really screwed up. They really should have come, you know, and Bush, oh, fuck. And it was like, you know, Michael Brown, the former FEMA director, Michael Brown. I know, right? 2 Michael Browns who were in the media, right? And so the FEMA jokes, now I get them. Haha, you know, they came a little late. Whatever. So there was that, and then so I pretty much was like, whatever, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Just the whole thing was stupid. So then so fast forward to 2008, like the beginning of 2008, and something important in 2008 was my bat mitzvah, February 16th, 2008. That was my bat mitzvah. It was a Saturday, so it was freaking awesome. It was the best day. We didn't know at the end of 2008 that the market was going to crash at all, but we had no idea. At that time, the writer's strike was going on. Sorry about that. The writer's strike was going on. There was so many different political things going on, and it just, sorry, the air conditioning's coming on again. It feels good. It's hot in this room. There was a lot of stuff going on, and that, you know, during my bat mitzvah and everything. So it was very interesting. And then I remember the gay rights issue coming up. I kind of found out about that in middle school, well, like 7th grade, yeah, as I was in middle school at the time. A friend of mine had 2 fathers, and I was wondering why. Like, that didn't make sense. I knew that people were gay or whatever, like, but finally somebody explained to me that this means this, and, you know, gay, lesbian, whatever. Okay, give me 1 second. I have to plug in the computer. Okay. Sorry. Shit. So the 1 second, let me just check to see if it's okay, good. So then there was the sorry. Then there was, so people explained what gay marriage was and all this different stuff. Sorry about that. Ooh, I don't know why I'm so tired. Probably because I got a 12. So I'm like half asleep. Anyway, you know, when you're so tired, your eyes start to water and you just can't focus. Anyway, so okay, so back to that. So I was, you know, and I thought, okay, why can't they marry, you know? And that's, you know, at the time where I started to really solidify my political identity. I was a Democrat. I was on the left. I was very pro, you know, I was pro gay marriage. I was very, you know, I was really, because that meant a lot to me, because I wanted people to have equality. I liked that. And I marched, and I went to a gay pride parade that year, and that, well, no, actually it was 2013. No, well, I was pissed because I couldn't vote, because at the time I was 14. I was so fucking pissed. Oh my god, was I pissed I couldn't vote? And when Prop 8 came up, because that was what it was, Prop 8 in California. Fuck, was I pissed that it, you know, they banned gay marriage? And to me, it just angered me, because I thought, wait a minute, you know, my dad, he voted for it. He let me click the button. He lets me click the buttons, you know, the Inca vote, or, you know, whatever. And I said to him, Dad, I can't say yes to Prop 8 because it goes against everything I believe in. And I said, you do that one, because I'm not going to vote for that. And he said, fine. And then I did the rest, but I wanted to so badly hit no. And my thing was that it fucked everything up, because a lot of people thought, yeah, I want gay marriage. Well, here's the thing. Yes meant no, and no meant yes. It's like, no, we want people to have equality. Wouldn't it be? Yes, we want people to have equality. But people thought they were voting for it. It was worded fucking stupidly. It was a trick. I don't know who put it out, but it was like probably some religious organization. Fuck me, whoever it was. Whatever. So it pissed me off. And there was that. And then finally I was like, whatever. So hold on 1 minute, you guys. I just have to pause. Sorry about that, my boyfriend called. I'll probably edit this part out, so. And back to work. So what was I saying? Yeah, sorry if you hear the talking in the background. They're just talking. And okay, so the gay marriage thing, yeah. So I was pretty upset about the outcome of that, and then I thought, okay, whatever, who cares? And I registered to vote in 2012. So 2008 to 2012, not much really. Well, actually, no. A lot did happen, not politically in the world, but for me specifically. In 11th grade is really when it solidified for me. Like, I thought I had my views set. Like, fuck did I am. I thought I was a feminist. You know, I became a feminist. I became somebody. Sorry, one second. Whatever. One second. Sorry, that was his mom. She's a sweetheart. I love her. So there was that, and then one sec. I'm just going to minimize this, but you guys can still see me. But it was more about like how to, just understand the, just understand what's actually going on with. Maybe it's still showed. I don't know. It's more about what's going on with like the just knowing how feminism worked and everything. And I thought I was a feminist. I kind of believed that stuff, and I kind of bought into Anita Sarkeesian because it started in like 2011, I think, or 2012. I think it was 2011. One second. I know, when did? Come on, new tab, open. Tropes versus women in video games. It started in, let's see. Just one sec. Trying to find it. 2012. Yeah, it started in 2012, I think. Oh, yeah, no, 2012. Okay. So it started in 2012, and but I mean, I kind of looked at a bunch of her videos, and I mean, 2011, 2012, I was, whatever. I just thought, oh my God, I'm a feminist. We have to do wage gap, everything. I believe that shit. That was I into it. And through the rest of high school, I was like that, but I never expressed anything. I just kind of bought into it silently. Like it kind of like went in and out. And I mean, at the time I was also kind of like, I'm into symphonic metal, so it didn't really matter. But like, I would hear lyrics and they would offend me, and I was also very easily offended back then. I was like, hey, you can't say that. That's offensive. I was like, and people were like, what do you care? Shut up. So I get kind of butthurt over that thing, But now I've learned, don't get butthurt over stupid shit. Look, Lauren, yeah. Hello, Papa. Oh, you're a good boy. You're a good girl. So yeah, there was that, and then so fast forward to the 2012 election, and that was the first election I voted in, and I voted for President Obama because buying just a women just didn't apply to, didn't, you know, fare well with me, and I wasn't going to vote for a man who thought that flying underwear was a fucking religion. I don't know. You know what? Fuck the Mormons. I really don't care. Not really, but like, whatever. I couldn't stand Mitt Romney. His name was Mitt. His real name was Walter. Where do you get Mitt from with Walter? Whatever. So I voted for Obama. It's kind of like a meh choice. Like, I didn't like him, but it was better than Mitt Romney. I mean, fuck. Ugh. Today's election. Ugh. Anyway, so I voted, and so I mean, and then I graduated high school, and then I went to college. And my freshman year, I wanted to join the women's stuff because that was really what was in, and you know, and I really believed in this wage gap. So that's when it really started to come out. And I participated in this thing at school called Take Back the Night, and it was more like, you know, down with the patriarchy. We were holding signs. I don't even remember what I wrote on my sign. I think I wrote like, I love pussy. I don't know what I wrote. Fuck. No, not really. I didn't write that. I know I didn't write that. I think I don't remember what I wrote. I do not remember. It was some thing like, I love everybody. I think it was like, I love all, or something like that. Some fucking thing. Yeah, some stupid shit. I mean, well, I do love everybody. You know? So, you know, whatever. Who cares? And so we went up, and we all, you know, people told their stories of their hardships and things like that. And I went up and I told about how I was bullied, and it wasn't really about feminism or women or whatever. And I met a lot of people there, you know, transgendered, gay, straight, lesbian, you know, and I was really interested. And there was nothing about the wage gap. It just, you know, at this time I was very invested in it, and it felt really empowering, which is okay. And so at that time, I just felt like all these stories made sense. And these stories were personal experiences. So people laughed. You know, there were some funny ones. There were some really sad ones. There were some horrible ones. And it was hard to hear some of them, but it was a very interesting evening. And I think I'll remember that for the rest of my life, because it really was a big changing point for me. And, you know, that time I really started to solidify my views of freaking, like, Anita Sarkeesian. I'm like, oh my God, I really, you know, I identified with her, whatever. And then I watched MrRepzion's video about tropes versus women in video games, and I realized she was full of shit. I'm like, fuck me. I remember sitting there thinking, oh my God, what did I buy into? Fucking A. Like, I was embarrassed with myself. And even to this day, I'm still a little embarrassed. Sorry, my chest itches. I'm thinking, oh my God, what was it? And then I watched the Amazing Atheist video. And I thought, what was I buying into? I mean, my family, my brother's a big gamer, and I was like, no, she's right. And he's like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? You never were like this before. So, sorry, the color keeps shifting. It's just this room. And so finally, I stopped watching her, and I was like, fuck, I felt like shit. So for a few days, my whole world was kind of like turning in on itself. And I kept watching videos by not AnazingAthiest, but like Amazing Atheist and MrRepzion and things like that. So I didn't really know about the others until probably like late last year, like late 2015. I watched Jaclyn Glenn. I liked her a lot. I still like her. I don't watch her anymore because she's kind of, I don't know, she's like the Nickelback version of like YouTube. I don't know, whatever. I still like her a little bit. And that's also where I learned about atheism, and where I started to develop my religious philosophy and my political philosophy. I was very heavily invested in teaching the truth. Science was always fascinating to me. I always loved science. So when she talked about Richard Dawkins, who I found out about, it was so fascinating. I was like, fuck, this is amazing. And at that time, it was so wonderful. And so I researched him. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's so cool. And so I was really excited. I was learning new things. I was exploring, and there was that. So at the time, I just, that it's really where it came from. And I watched her do an interview with Richard Dawkins. It was awesome. And then I started watching Bill Maher in 2014, like early 2014. And then that's when I found out about Ayaan Hersi Ali, one of my heroes who I absolutely love, and I would love to meet her because she's freaking amazing. I just finished reading Heretic. I recommend reading it. It's really good. I got it on Audible, so I loved it. I loved the whole thing. It was really good. There were some things I didn't agree with her on. I can't really remember what they were, but she was great, and she was great, and I loved it. I loved her her commentary, just everything, knowing what she went through. And that's really when I started to find these different people. I watched a bit more YouTube, and that really started to change me. I started to see, I started to think, I don't need Judaism. Whatever, yada yada. I stopped. I didn't want to believe in it and everything. And then I realized, I don't remember what video it was, but I think it was like a TJ video. It was talking about how you can still, being Jewish, like you can still have some of those religious aspects to you as long as you don't force them on other people. But it's okay to question things. And that's what I learned. You have to question things. And I started to think about that a lot. And it helped a lot with me. So I would question a lot of it. And then that turned into me not really wanting to be a feminist anymore. It kind of disappeared. I stopped wanting to be a feminist, and I just, I did. In 2014, that's kind of a lot of the shifting points, so that kind of happened. And then 2014 actually really set something. During that summer, two things happened. One thing was fun, and one thing was like, So the first, thing was and I'm Jewish, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And that happened. I started to invest my time in Israel when I went to a Hillel 818 thing, and they were talking about Israel, and I never really was invested. And then finally I realized I should be. I'm Jewish, Jewish isn't just a religion, it's a culture, it's a people. And that's why it meant so much to me then. And I really wanted to fight for what I still consider part of my home, part of me. Israel is part of me. I mean, if I could fight in the IDF, I would. Too scared. I'm a bit of a fraidy cat sometimes. I just can't, but I say, I'm Yisrael Chai to the people who are, and to one of my favorite Israeli actresses, Gal Gadot, I love you, you're amazing. And fuck all the haters, I sound stupid. Anyway, I was really invested. Oh, look at the kitty. Look at the kitty. Look at the kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh, come here. Oh! Oh, come here. Yep. Hello, my little kitty cat. Yeah. She's like, why'd you wake me up, Mom? She's like, oh, fuck you. You're so normal. So there was that, and then I started to invest my time. So how I fought for Israel was I started going on Instagram and putting pictures up and blogging a little bit on Instagram. And I got some pretty big shit back. And like I didn't really care because I already trolled. I was a troll back then. Fuck, was I a troll? I think I still am a little bit. But back when like Instagram was a little bit more lax, when I could actually piss off people and not get in trouble for it, like Believers or fucking One Directioners or whatever, and then they block you and you get too many blocks and it's like, oh, you can't, post anything or post a comment for like 20. Fuck you. I think it's stupid. They report you for the littlest fucking things. Thank God, air came on. It's hot. So that happened. And then also the fun thing was I went on a cruise that summer. That was really the last time I actually went somewhere besides Nebraska with my grandmother, who passed away in 2015. That was really hard for me. And she listened to me. She understood, I told her a lot about how I was feeling about the conflict in Israel. And she said, as long as I said, I just don't believe in God. And she said, as long as you stay Jewish, that's it. And I realized that she was the only one who accepted my lack of belief in God. As long as I was going to raise my children Jewish, and I was going to have a Jewish wedding. That was the two things she asked of me. And those were the two things she asked of my mother. And I will honor them. She was one of the best people ever. I miss her so much. And it was really a cruise for my grandfather's 90th birthday. And they had been married for 64 years before she died. 64 years. The kitty. Kitty. I love my little phoenix. Anyway, so yeah, we went to Alaska, and that was a lot of fun. I went ziplining. And then after I came back, it still was really heated. But I'm going to show you an image that I posted on Instagram, and it's a really great image. So it's a really amazing image that I made in 2014, and let me see. So there's that. Won't go more. Oh wait, yeah, well, if I just keep scrolling. But I have a lot of, just different things on my Instagram, and that year was very interesting. Let's see. But that was also the year I got my cat Batman. It was 2014. So there was that. Let me see. It's here somewhere. Here. So let me come back, and then I'm going to split screen. What are you doing, Phoenix? She's on the desk. Screen share. So this image is, I am pro-Israel. So I said, Israel and Palestine will have peace. There's no such thing as an endless war. Tag your friends if you want peace in the Middle East. Whatever. Okay. So there was that. I got a lot of shit for that one. I mean, as you can see in the comments, I'll leave a link in the description below. There were a lot of comments that are deleted, one-sided conversations. It was very complicated. there was one person you'll see who was like, fuck you, whatever, and this other person's like, no, if she really wants peace, let her have it. Like, I agree, we shouldn't be fighting. And it was from a Palestinian person, which I thought was great. So really, I still grapple with the Islam that, now I'm not as much anymore as I used to, not after I read Heretic, that really put things in perspective. I know there's a difference now between the Muslims as people, and their ideology is different. However, I realize that the beliefs that they hold impact the way others see and think about them. And take it for what it is. That's my opinion. So that happened. And then in 2015, after my grandmother passed away, it really solidified my belief that there was no God. But I do believe in a heaven. And I sort of believe in hell. I don't know. I just feel like hell is too good for people who are bad. I feel like limbo. Because limbo is, you're stuck in the middle. You can't get out. You can't go anywhere. You don't have any choice. You're just stuck in a box. In life, we don't like being confined. If our souls are confined, good God, for the rest of eternity, I think that's worse than hell. So you're not going anywhere. You're just stagnant. And it sucks. So anyway, that's just my thought. And then so that happened, and then there was the idea of the cognitive dissonance in my mind of what religion is and what ideology and everything else. So at the end, I was really focused on this, anti-terrorist thing. Like, it started in the left, all of a sudden started to shift in, the middle of 2015, which was so weird. It was like late 2014. The left started to have this shift that I was kind of like, what? I used to watch the Young Turks. I stopped watching them in 2014. I watched them for like 2-3 years, from like 2011 to 2014, and the Israel thing happened. I stopped watching them because they demonized Israel and never gave any other context. And I was like, what the fudge? Like, this makes no sense. So there was that. And then after I came back, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Whatever. So I then went back to school, and the left started to shift into this weird mishmash of whatever. I was like, fuck, what is this? All of a sudden, things became very politically correct. And I'd never been a fan of political correct culture at all. Sorry, it's dust. And so I was like, what the heck is, and I was like, what is going on with people? This is nuts. Why are people so, sorry, this lighting is bugging me. There. I hope it's better here. Yeah, it's a lot better here. At least I think it is. It was just so much crap. I'm like, what is going on with this stuff? Fuck. And it kind of made me uncomfortable because I thought, and then I was reading about white privilege and male privilege and the wage gap, and I'm thinking, wait, fuck, what is this? What is this? Like, this makes no sense. That's when I started watching Sargon. So he was the first one I really picked up on. Then I watched Teal Deer. Can't really remember how I found out about them. I think I just was watching, I think it was maybe like a Amazing Atheist video or some video. And I found out about them, and then I went to Undoom, did Teal Deer, and it just went on and on from there. So 2015, so what really started to shake me to the core was in France, the Charlie Hebdo. I'm a big free speech advocate, and I thought, wow, they're gonna shoot cartoonists? My dad was freaking pissed. He's like, no, this is bullshit. Why? My mom was the same way. And I thought, shit, this is not good. So I said Je suis Charlie. I was very invested in that because to me, I love satirical comedy. I love when people make fun of other things. It just makes me happy. I like it when people take the piss on other people. It's funny. I know it's a sick thing, but I like that. Just like I love sex, I like making people feel uncomfortable. Just what I do. And I actually got the Charlie Hebdo, that subscription, or not that magazine. I read it online. They actually had translated it. Now everybody knows that magazine's name. I realized in that moment that these two idiot shooters going in and killing people, you know what they just did? They gave that magazine company so much more money because they did. Because of all the attention that happened. All the attention. And you know what happened? Their subscriptions skyrocketed. They started translating them into English and other languages. Really? The terrorists thought they were going to silence them. And then on the left, I see, not all Muslims. And it's like, God, I know not all Muslims. It's not like people don't know this shit. Fuck, we know not all. We know not all black people are violent. We fucking know this. We know not all. You don't have to say not all. So we know not all. It's bullshit is what it is. I actually donated money to the magazine, and one of the head writers was Jewish. Fuck, he made fun of Israel. He made fun of Abraham, and they made fun of everybody there. But because it's Muhammad, fuck man. Just that's really, and it really angered me. Again, this political correctness just kept seeping into it, and it's just made me mad because I thought I can't say anything anymore, and it really pissed me off. So I started to think about, what am I politically? I thought, am I a libertarian? What am I? So it really fucked me up. I kept, I was very, but I'm still, I'm still liberal. I'm still, and then November 13th, France. Paris attacks. Fuck. I was bawling my eyes out. Phoenix! She likes the sound of this Xbox. I was bawling my eyes out. I was so angry. I was so upset. I couldn't believe it. And I'd been pretty much against letting in these migrants. And then San Bernardino. Again. And then Cologne, Germany. And again, I was pissed. These feminists, these fucking left-wing feminists, and all these regressive leftists. Thank you to Majid Nawaz and Sam Harris for coming up with that term. And the Halloween thing at, Yale. All of these things just kept piling up in my mind. I was like, fuck me, what is going on with people? And it made me really concerned. So I was like, whatever, okay, whatever. And I really started to question myself. What am I? What am I? And to this day, I still question. A little bit, but now I know. I'm more of a cultural libertarian. I'm still on the left about some things. I'm on the right about some things. And everything in 2016. So then I started watching a bunch more YouTubers who had the same idea. And I'm going to put Sargon under an umbrella. So the idea of this atheist community with political ideals, free speech, anti-feminist, anti-SJW, pro-free speech, and just all of these things. And I wanted to be a teacher. And now, actually, I changed my mind. Fuck, I couldn't do it. too much indoctrination. I realized I thought everything was being indoctrinated. Nothing could be said that was against the, it was so weird. It was very totalitarian. And I couldn't be like that. And I thought, fuck this, I'm leaving. So I hopped off the stop. I hopped off the train before it crashed. And it is crashing big time now. And I'm standing there thinking, I'm glad I hopped off the train with everybody else, like Sargon, Undoomed, Teal Deer, Karen Strawn, Sugar Tits, Bearing, MrRepzion, the Amazing Atheist, all of them. They're all under Lauren Southern, who I love, and Milo Yiannopoulos, just everybody. I hopped off that train with them, and so. I mean, clearly you know my views now because you've seen my recent videos. But to sum it all up, I would say more I'm a cultural libertarian, but I really don't know. I don't know who I'm voting for in this presidential election. They both suck. And I was watching a video by Vernaculis, and I'll leave a link in the description below to this video. And he said, if you don't vote for president, that's okay. It's not going to contribute to one person winning or another person winning. I might just vote for Jill Stein. I don't care. Fuck, I just do not care. I can't vote for Hillary, but at the same time he was saying, oh, if you vote for Hillary, you can't complain, or if you vote for Trump, you can't complain. It's like, and in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. But, in my mind, it's like this honesty, this whole thing of like honesty and, if I can complain. Well, he said, yeah, if you vote for it, you still can complain about the person you voted for because you did it because you had no other choice. And, good girl. She was sitting on the Xbox. And it's just, there's this idea of you have to make it so, you can't complain or whatever. Phoenix. Oh, come here, you. She's cute. But it's more just, if you don't vote, it's okay. I think I'm just gonna vote for Jill Stein and be done with it. The other issues, I'm looking for other issues to focus on. Back in 2015, I joined the Young Democrats of my college, and it was very interesting, and I'm still going to go back, but I don't know if I can go to the meetings because I have class at that time. So, I'm doing horse equine stuff, which is awesome, so I think it might be a little bit more fun than going to the fucking Lauren Reed. I'm like, they'll just give me the updates, and it's like, oh yeah, here. It's like, I'll try to go to the meetings, but it's like, fuck, I can't really. I might have to drop out, but that's okay because I guess I don't really want to, but I might. I will try my best to send my updates and to do everything else. And to, when there's voting in elections, yeah, I will try my best, but I'm going to become a vet tech. That's a little bit more important right now for me than politics, for fuck's sake. Anyway, this video was long and rambly and whatever, but I just, whatever political party you are, be proud of it. Don't feel ashamed to criticize your own party, to change your mind on things. As the story went, I changed my mind a lot, especially in recent years. You have to be able to change your mind and listen to other opinions that aren't your own. And I did that, and that's how I came to the position that I am in now. It's quite important for me. Sorry, my boyfriend, I'm just like, whatever. It's important for me to tell anybody who's watching, don't feel like you have to stick to that party because, otherwise people will be disappointed in you, whatever. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's your choice on who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you don't vote for this person. It's your choice. You're an American citizen. You can vote for whoever the fuck you want. I don't care. Just know what you're getting into. Research, even if you don't know a lot, just do the work. And if you find that you can't really surface on one or either, you don't have to vote for them. You can vote for somebody else. They say it goes to the other person, but whatever. Who cares? You know in your conscience it made you feel good. Anyway, this video was very long and rambly and full of cats and everything, but I will see you guys later. And I love you all. Mwah. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye.